me, how do you consistently produce 1 on 10 videos? Is that even possible?
Sometimes something that works isn't what you want to do. It gets views, and then you're like, oh,
One is should the titles be optimized for search or should they be optimized for click?
work on that one thing. Titles and thumbnails, not retention, all this other stuff, because that's like once they get into it, your whole goal is like just grabbing some type of attention.
Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. I have Jeff with me today, Jeff Parker. He's the person you need to go to if you are, just starting out your journey and you're looking for growth. So that's why I have Jeff with me today on this channel, and we're going to discuss your 0 to 1 journey of YouTubing. Welcome, Jeff. Thank you so much for coming to the channel. Thank you for also being accommodating with all my, being say cancellations, rescheduling, everything. You've been so kind. Thank you so much to join me today.
I love doing this type of stuff, just talking to people. It doesn't matter if you get canceled 20 times. It is, we'll figure it out. We're both busy, I'm sure. Both have lives.
Sure, Jeff. So tell me, how do you consistently produce 1 on 10 videos? Is that even possible?
I think the biggest thing is like, who are we talking to? Like, I think good way is like just explain like marketing. That's usually what I talk about. That's how I get views for clients. It's like what is your audience already thinking? Like go whatever they're thinking, like make content like that. So like everybody wants to get more views on YouTube, right? So like how can I make a video that shows them how to get views, or how to make like a thumbnail? So stuff like problems that your audience already has. Like the easiest way, like find your niche, podcasting, whatever it is, and like what problems do they have, and then just make content around that. Okay, content around that. Like that's probably the short answer. I mean, of course, the title and thumbnail is like very important, um, but it's always, are you at least talking to the right person? And once you at least you got that done, it's like okay, you have a chance to get a 1 out of 10. And like looking back at past data, because you can really see you made 20 videos. This one had more views than the rest. Like just remake the video, like or put it in a different way, not completely remake.
There's a lot of buzz around short form content and lack of attention span that people talk about, and due to the popularity of TikTok as well. Um, do you think short form will take over long form content, or what is your take?
I mean, I just watched a 15-minute video about I don't even know what it's about, but I watched a 15-minute video just before this. Like I definitely don't think so. I think if you're on TikTok, like you're like yes, that's what someone like well definitely short form's taking over everything. But there's a lot of people who just don't. Not all short, but there's a lot of short form where it's just like over the top. There's almost like there's not enough there sometimes. Not all, but like 50% is people dancing around or something. There's a lot of people just like I want to sit down and watch this thing that's the one's creating about this topic that I'm interested in. They don't want the 50 shorts that can happen. Your brain goes 100 miles per hour. So I definitely don't think, like I just work with people who make long form content. That's it, and it's working. So it's I think shorts is good, but I would not put everything into it. They're just the audience, like people who watch that are not invested enough compared to someone who watches 15. I subscribe to this guy named Simply. He's talking about Mario 64, like the game, Super Mario 64. I've heard of the guy, but I subscribed to him because it was like a 15-minute video. I looked through the rest of his stuff. All long content looked good. I just subscribed to him right now. If I watch a short, I have to watch 20 of them.
Swipe up.
Yeah. I may not be really interested. I may just be wasting, like I'm literally wasting my time. Like, do I even care about this content?
So if it's someone is starting a YouTube channel from scratch, you suggest publishing long form content more than shorts.
I would say I think like one short a week because like it is kind of like free. It's easier to get a lot of views. It's just it goes so quick. Like, it's so much. Like a normal long form content is like between 8 hours and 3 days is when like you're gonna get something. Something's gonna happen. The short form content, it might be 6 hours. That's it, done forever. It just that up and down emotion of like, I got this. I suck now. Like that, that up and down emotion. So definitely, I mean, I'd say like even like one a week, I wouldn't go any more than that. There's just too much unless you find something that works. But I'd do one long form, one short a week.
I
That's it.
even read,
That one.
YouTube and Instagram as well, just to stay alive with TikTok becoming a wave. They introduce these short form content to their platform, but their main strategy is long form content. That's why like Instagram increased their reel size. YouTube is redirecting all the shorts to long form content, and this believe makes us believe that there is still hope for creators who are just getting started on YouTube in terms of creating long form content, right?
There's definitely. I would stick with the long. I think there's plenty of. I mean, there's nothing wrong with shorts. Like it does work. It can work extremely well. I just wouldn't put all my baskets in it, or have that's not the same. That's why when I put everything in it. Long form is funner too. It's harder to make. Let's not deny that. Which is one 15-minute video. I just subscribed to this guy. That's it. Yeah. The guy was just talking, explaining some random thing about Mario Kart.
And so, what is a good frequency of publishing videos, long form videos?
I'd say definitely once a week. I mean, at least like, yeah, I'd say once a week. It's just there's so much. This can be hard. It's here. We all work, working 9 to 5 jobs, this, that, and everything else. Um, but you learn so much more if you make say half a year, 26 videos a year, and if you miss some, whatever, like what doesn't work, which is huge. It's almost more important than what does work, because then you can never make this video again. It just doesn't work, right? So definitely once a week, 2-3 times a month if you can't do once a week. But you start doing this like I think a lot of people when they first start they want to make the most beautiful, best video in the world. They make one video, they spend 37 hours on it, 100 hours on it. It doesn't work and they never come back again. That's like soul crushing. It's like, okay, just make one video a week. You're talking about a specific audience. You're trying to make the best video. And if it doesn't work, you know what doesn't work. Right? As far as like social media, I do tons of stuff that doesn't work at all. But then I know never to do it again. You just have to, it's almost like mindset now. Like once a week, but then understand if something doesn't work, like you're fine.
Exactly. And then once you find a pattern like this is working, then how do you sustain it? Like how do you sustain the growth of the channel?
So if it's working, definitely keep doing it. Unless it's like sometimes something that works isn't what you want to do. It gets views, and then you're like, oh, year in you regret it. So like, assuming it's working and it's the videos you want to make, keep making those, or at least repackage those ideas. So if someone clicks into how to grow a podcast or something, it's like, okay, maybe we could keep making how to grow a podcast, stuff like that. But then you kind of have to branch out too. Like you almost have to like, this is the idea, this is working. And like, how can I go like almost right beside it? Like how can I get more downloads? Because you keep saying how to grow a podcast, so it's working. But how can I use social media for podcasting or something? Like it's the same thing, but you're trying to reach almost like different people. Like you just can't always make the same video, but if it's working, keep doing it. But you just don't always want to make the same, because you get screwed sometimes because you're making the same video over and over again. We had the sports channel. I keep talking about the sports channel because it just worked out so well. He's making more. He made these like once a week. Like the race would happen. There's this Formula One race would happen. He just review it. We put a catchy title and something on it. It's working. He doesn't really like doing it because it's like every week there's a new race. So every week like everybody's making the same videos. So you're trying to compete with everything. So I'm like, okay, let's make some more like evergreen type videos. Videos that it's like a documentary of like the person in F1, some famous person. Where it's like, who released it today? Who released it 6 months from now? It's still gonna be relevant. It's like that's where you have to know where to make this video, know where to make that video, and know when to make a different type of video.
Exactly. And for the creators who don't see results, for the creators who are not seeing results despite putting in consistent effort, what do you suggest them? Should they like give up YouTube?
I mean, hopefully not. I mean, that's what happens when you make.
Hmm.
There's tons of people I work with who, like, I've started YouTube 4 times now. I think the as far as like the biggest thing is like having a niche, which is people you tell people that they don't. It's like having like if you're talking to podcasters, like people want to grow their podcasts. Boom, that's it. Just keep talking about the same thing. Don't change ideas and all this other stuff. Try and make 10 different pieces of content that's going to help someone grow their podcast in different ways, talking about social media and stuff. And you're going to find out what's working or not. But it starts with the niche, like the target audience of who you're talking to. So if you have a gaming channel, don't have a gaming channel. Have like a horror gaming channel, or have like a cozy farming gaming channel. Well, it's all you play is cozy farms, Sims or something. So it just has a very specific niche who you're talking to. This is hard to explain because to me it's obvious, but I think a lot of people aren't. They don't. They just think you just make content and people just find you.
Build it and
That's
they'll come.
yeah. That's not. I mean, that's something. That's a nice movie. That doesn't work like that. But if you kept talking about podcasting, like how to help podcasters and stuff, people are gonna find
Hmm.
you. You get better at titles and thumbnails and stuff, but people will find you. It's when you start. Well, I'm bored of this. Well, if you just stayed consistent,
Hmm.
you will start growing. Whatever growth means for anybody, but you'll start growing. It's just staying consistent on the one thing. Like YouTube marketing for small creators. That's almost all that I talk about. Sometimes it's boring, but sometimes people pay you money, so I'm not gonna complain.
So for these creators who are not seeing results, despite putting in efforts, week after week, week after week, and they're just frustrated. So what will you tell them? Like, go to this part of analytics, look at this. If this working, then you'll understand this, or something of that sort.
It's just it comes down to like the title and the end. It's like if your click through rate is, I mean, if it's under, I mean, it could be 3%, you still get tons of views. But if it's, because it's all compared to the last one. Like when you open up your YouTube analytics, it shows you those three little bars. If it's green, gray. If it's gray, it's not. If it's all gray, it means everything is down. If it's green, if it's not like the pointing up green, it's just kind of like the circle green. Like it's like average, which is average is better than down. So usually it's like, okay, so someone has to click into your video. So the click through rate, it is important because it's just your videos are over here hidden. It's literally hidden over here. So someone has to click in through it. So if your click through rate, your title, your packaging is like, if it's just down, because it's all going to be compared to your other stuff. So it's gray. Like it's just down. It's not good. That's when you would change your title and your thumbnail. So to me, it's like the biggest part is like the title and thumbnail, click through rate. I mean, the average view duration, that's important, but it's like, to me, it's like get people to go to your channel first. But if you get 2,000 views, it means your average view duration is terrible. What if it's 10%? Well, you got 2,000 people who clicked into it. Now your fix is looking at retention. Versus if you get 12 videos or 12 views, it's like, okay, I need a better title and thumbnail. If it's 12 views, better title and thumbnail. If you're getting hundreds, thousands of views, and then your average view duration is crap, and then you can fix that, but at least you got your title and thumbnail correct. It clicked into it, right? So I think click through rate. Retention's a point, but if you're small, I won't even worry about that right now. I'd get views. Like I'd get the 100 views a video. Yeah, get people on your channel. If you're on social media and you're getting 0 likes, no one's clicking into your profile or nothing. Well, that doesn't matter if you're selling anything. You just need to get someone to see you, right? Yeah, see you. They click into you, they DM you, like, oh my gosh, like something's happening, right? The title thumbnail, just to get views. That other stuff doesn't. You're worrying about stuff that's not gonna.
Irrelevant
It's not gonna
at
help
this
you.
point.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, what I understand from this whole title, and first you need to get a person to at least come to your video. In the whole flood of videos that YouTube shows, they need to click on yours. And so, the first thing as a creator who's starting his journey or her journey or their journey, they need to focus on not the editing, not the content, but understanding their audience.
Yes. Like I've worked with a couple people now who are like very good editors, like studied filmmaking, like very good at it. but they can't get attention. They can't get someone to click into the video. And they'll post for 2 years. I'm like, okay, you just need to focus on like a simple thing that says like how to lose weight. I don't care if the thumbnail looks boring. It says how to lose weight. You think it looks corny. Does it work? Is all that matters. Like, does someone click in like how to lose weight for men over 50 or something? And it says how to lose weight if you're over 50. And it shows the guy like getting someone to click in.
Exactly. And then, say, suppose a person knows who they want to talk to, and they have like a little clarity into what that person might want to watch. But despite that, there's hardship in, packaging all your video with all the thumbnail and title. So, how do you think they can learn that? Like, I've heard like take inspiration from the creators in your niche, replicate what they're doing, get inspired, and do it for yourself. So, does that work in practice, or you have some other hacks?
Like people in your niche, I'd find someone like smaller because if they're so big, like I don't know why people even look at Mr. B unless you got 50 million subscribers and you're trying to be, but like he'll not put any, like he won't put anything on the thumbnail that has like text or nothing. Like in my opinion, you need text. It's like a double title. So it's called a simple thumbnail because it's simple, especially if you're small. You don't have time to make all these crazy. You're trying to compete with other people who you can't likely compete with or something. But it's always text. They catch attention. Like if you can't grow your YouTube channel, it's the things that your audience is already feeling, the thoughts they already have. Like someone who's 50 years old, male, who has trouble losing weight, just ask the question in the thumbnail, big text, to where it's on your phone and it's very obvious what it says. That works really well. Like the sports channel that I keep talking about, all we do is put some famous, the Formula One guys, like whoever won or something, and we write some type of text on it. Like we did one where this guy was, he complains a lot. This guy just complains a lot. So we just made it that. We just made it, is this guy a crybaby? Question mark. Then you have some time and they clicked into it and it works. Whereas some of these videos, that's where like the editing didn't even matter. You have someone
I've noticed this too. Like Alex Hormozy, he posts this training videos. They're barely edited. People are not dropping off. I'm sure people are not dropping off.
I don't know. Because you got them. I mean, he has the provenance or something. He's so famous where that's where like sometimes.
He's also good with what he speaks, his presentation skills are good too.
Yeah. I watched one yesterday. Late, it was like 1 a.m. I don't know, I was up to 1 a.m., but I was up to 1 a.m. And it was something about sales.
Something I don't even I remember. I saw it right before I slept. I took a business within 6 months or 6 weeks or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He had like a board on the background. Yeah. And I watched that one, watched the whole thing. I didn't even need the information. Like, I'm not sitting here. But I'm like, well, I don't know. Started to play. That's where like it auto plays. I was like, well, I know we all know him. So like, well, it's probably going to be
There are two questions that I want to ask relating to what you just said. One is, should the titles be optimized for search or should they be optimized for click?
I think click at first. Because like, okay, here's a good example. If you're making like an SEO video, like a guide,
how to start a podcast in 2024.
How to start, yeah, something you could watch anytime. Like you could watch today, you watch too much right now. So how to start a podcast? I think I would start with more of like the aggressive, because after between 8 hours and 3 days is when you're going to get the most impressions, so the most views. Then it does this flatline stuff, which everybody hates. That's just what it does. So within the first 3 days is where I would go almost like a storytelling type. Instead of just plain how to grow a podcast, I do one of those like secret behind podcasting, or I don't know. So something like a little more edgy, aggressive, a little more, what the expert podcasters don't tell you about growing a podcast or something. That kind of, copywriting kind of, that's how I probably start it. At least see what happens if 18 or let's say 36 hours goes by, so a day and a half. nothing's happening, right? You can look at the statistics. It's all, it's not looking good. Then you may go more of a plain basic, your thumbnail just says how to grow a podcast in 2 hours a week. I don't know, right? Even if you have bad equipment, you know what I mean? Just very like when it's huge letters, it's almost like this. Who's going to click into this? But like someone will, because they have the problem of they don't know how to grow a podcast, or they don't have the equipment. How to start a podcast with, your cell phone. You're just showing up some, random cell phone. But then over time, you can change. After like that 3 days, whatever happens, happens. You can change it to like a more generic, like that way someone sees it 6 months from now. It just says how to grow a podcast in 2023. And you just change it to 2024 next year.
Oh,
Right.
so you're suggesting for the first 3 days, you really hone in on the click and then
Yeah.
reindex it with
Yeah. Just more basic.
Love that.
But you can test it. Yeah. I mean, you can see that if it's within 3 days, at least it's the most smaller people I've worked with, just impression, it does that whole flat line. Like, this is it. You're not getting. So within by 36 hours, like half of that, you can be like, okay. I mean, it tells you the stats. It's just telling you if your click-through rate's bad or if it's not. If everything's looking good, then don't touch the thing. Don't just let it do its thing. Don't freak out. Sometimes it takes 24 hours for something to happen. But that 3 days when you need to like just be manage the video, decide if you should change it or not. If it's not working, what do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose. 2 days has gone by. You have one more day to do something.
Exactly.
That's what
And so then, okay, the 3 days have passed. You've changed the title again, let's say. And when do you re-index it again?
The problem with after 3 days is like the impressions dry up because you might get 10,000 or it could be a ton more. Let's just say you get 10,000 impressions in 3 days, just on average. But at that point, from day 4 to 30, you might only get 1,000 more impressions. So like the chance of something happening is just less. So I'd almost come up with, I mean, if the video did well, don't touch it. But if it didn't do too well, change it and just let it sit there and
Hope.
I almost wouldn't touch it.
Okay, so
hope.
So basically, you don't even suggest like go 6 months down the line and rework on them or something like that.
It's one of those like what's more important, like going to. I mean, if it's a guide video, that only makes sense because if it takes off again, you can put it on your put it in a playlist or something. But if it's like a one and done type video that no one could ever watch again, and people can watch it, it just doesn't make sense. There's some new podcasting meta going on around here about AI or something. But if that's kind of over in 2 months, it doesn't make sense anymore to even just make another video.
Talking thumbnails, you suggest like we should add words, right? So how many words, like 3-4 words, 4-5 words, especially the podcast thumbnails. I'm not sure if you have checked out some of them. They're very packed with the pictures of the guest, the host. There's a lot of words going on, long titles which are actually optimized for SEO for the podcast, but they go in the thumbnail. So what is your take there? Like, how many words should be on the thumbnail?
I think let's just say 5. I don't know if the exact amount. Definitely you don't want it too much because you can just imagine me on a phone and you can't even see it. So there's one channel I worked with that was like a psychologist. She was a therapist. So we just write like, are you we write a question, are you depressed? That's it. We just write that on it because it's just someone reads that. They're just gonna read it. It doesn't matter if you don't like words or anything on it. It's just assuming a YouTube gives it to someone who's depressed, who's searching these type of topics. Like, are you depressed? Internally, yes. Or no, you're going to think of like yes in your mind. That's going to keep going on to the title.
Titles and thumbnails. TubeBuddy versus vidIQ. Both of them help you do the same. Optimize your titles. And I think TubeBuddy also has this A/B tester for thumbnails. I've not used it though. I had been on their trial plan, but I couldn't find time to try experience it. So which is your pick? Which platform should creators use?
I've I haven't used TubeBuddy, but I use this
vidIQ?
other thumbnail testing thing. Or yeah, I haven't used. I've used another thumbnail testing thing. It's called like
Okay.
thumbnailtest.com. But I mean, I'm assuming it's the same as TubeBuddy. That stuff's really cool because it's. I don't know if someone like when they first started, they should be messing with that. But it's cool because like you can make a title, package it in like three different ways. So you can do like negative. This is why you're not losing weight, or how to lose weight if you're over 50 years old and you're a male. Like the simpler one. They can do it another way, and then like the ones they don't click into, maybe they don't like when you're negative to them, right? They're already overweight. They don't want someone to tell them they're not. But you can learn from that. We're doing like three different ways to see which one's clicked into. Um, so like we usually use that, but as far as like I try to say vidIQ is probably better. Like the whole SEO type, looking at, as long as you don't, because the problem sometimes is everybody's looking at it too. So you have someone's trying to make how to gardening type stuff, and they're seeing the same thing someone else is seeing. So sometimes like you have to use that, and then start looking on YouTube what videos are out there. Can you make it like with a twist or something? Like, can you make it more negative or something?
Mm.
Everybody's doing how to grow a garden or something. Like, this is how you're going to kill your plants if you don't do this one thing. But it's about how to grow a garden. You're just going at a different route.
Mm. So, other than the title, YouTube SEO is something that creators optimize for. So, other than the title, where else do you think these keywords need to be sprinkled? Do the tags work?
I
And
think,
there's also description, I think.
yeah, I don't think the tags work as much. Like if you just go to those tags, it's like it literally says this does not work. It don't say this does not work, but it says like this does not help as much as it used to. Um, throw it in there because why not? I definitely think the description, because YouTube knows if you're making how to garden or something, a gardening type video, they already know what it's about because they're translating all that. It's YouTube or Google, I guess technically. They're smart. Um, but I would definitely like put in the description. I just wouldn't go over the top. I think sometimes people go, because if you just make a how to garden, how to plant, how to grow tomatoes in 2023, someone's probably already done that. So like that's where you have to actually look around. That's why sometimes using vidIQ or something where like it just tells you what to do. It's just everybody can also do the same thing, or you don't do any research. Like before we make a video, we're looking around like, okay, is this what people are actually thinking? Is there already 7 videos like this? Now you can make it, maybe get 500 views, and that might be like a win. It might be a win for your channel. That's where you have to look at it and see. Um, that's where you have like the 3 days of like how to grow tomatoes in 2023. You got a picture of a tomato plant. It's beautiful. There's all these tomatoes. But then just I keep saying go negative because it's just the opposite. Um, this will kill your tomato plant. Or this, how do you get more production? How to get more harvest out of your tomato plant? It's the same video. It's how to grow a tomato plant. But you're talking about how to get 600% harvest rate or something. How to get 96 pounds out of one tomato plant. It's about growing a tomato. It's just a tomato plant. It's the same video. You're talking to like you're doing it a different way, and that could just get more views, just like that. Because it's that. I mean, what do people want? They want how to grow a tomato plant, or do they actually want more tomatoes on the tomato plant? I mean,
It should stand
they
out,
probably want tomatoes,
and
right?
it should. Firstly, it should stand out, and secondly, it should be something that people are looking for.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's why everybody does like the bright
I've
thumbnails.
seen
But I mean,
this
it worked.
yellow, red. These are a theme of many thumbnails, even black and white. These are the popular colors for thumbnails, I've noticed.
They always, yeah, they stick. 'Cause I think most people are using it as like a hack. Almost like statistically, most people are using dark mode on their phones.
Mm.
So YouTube. Um, so like if you put like if you have all black, like a black thumbnail, that's fine. Then you need like white text or something, or if if it's all it's like this, it's all black everywhere. Put white as the background. Just make it stand out. Like it sounds like I don't want to play these games, Jeff. Well, this is just a game of YouTube. Like you need to play the game, right? Make it stand out. I think sometimes people get into like they don't want to put text on it on a thumbnail because it's not. I think it looks corny. You're playing the game of attention. Just play the game and get someone to click in. Because then like we can just talk and be normal people. Now at the beginning, you gotta act like you have to look like a clown or something. Put a clown suit on to get the attention. Right, with the title and thumbnail, over the top type stuff. And then when we're talking, we're just normal people. You did what the title and thumbnail is supposed to do. Get
attention.
attention.
I've been working with young creators for I think a long time now, like 2 years.
I think 2 years is when I first started. The story goes is the quick story is like I was in my 20s, wanting to make money online and stuff. Didn't know what I was talking about. Then I found a book, just a marketing book, just a plan. That's why I always talk about like marketing. Just read a marketing book. Like you could say like a life changed because I know what to do now. I mean, I still feel like I'm lost sometimes. But like I know like, okay, if I want to make money, people need to trust me. I need to pick this niche. I need to talk about this stuff every single day so it's almost boring. So someone's gonna be like, oh, Jeff is the YouTube marketing guy for probably small creators or small YouTubers. And then they'll work with me. But I started all with like not knowing what I was doing, and then pick up like a marketing book, and that like changed everything. So I'm like, guys, you need to learn marketing. It'll change your life. You don't. I know you
They
don't
should teach
get it yet, but like
teach
it
it
will
in
literally.
schools, actually.
You shouldn't have to go to college to learn marketing. It should just teach you. It should be like a 3-month thing. You want to make money in the real world, right?
So
Not working 9 to 5
exactly. Even if you work in the 9 to 5, you need to get promoted, and that's again there's marketing in there.
Yeah. How can you sell yourself? Good way to say it.
But selling is bad in the traditional world.
Yeah. There's a lot of people on YouTube, not YouTubers, but like people who are. There's a lot of people who want like free stuff forever. They just want everything to be free, and like a YouTuber like, hey, I'm selling this course. Buy this. And some people like, you are a terrible person. You could do this for free. But then it's like there's people who will literally pay for this. Pay for your mortgage. Pay whatever you want in life. Don't worry about the people who don't want your free stuff. That doesn't want to buy it from you. They're never going to buy it from you. There's negative people who don't live in the real world. You provide someone information. You can help them do something 10 times faster. Someone will buy that. But we focus on like the negative. I mean, I do it too.
Also, these people don't have the guts to say it to your face. They do it because it's easy to say something online behind the screen of your mobile.
Yeah. It's like, they say it behind there. It's like, this is not.
Take out something else. The frustration that they had some event, some person, on some creator they find doing good work, putting in all the hard work. It's hard.
Like, no,
you need to have a thick skin.
Yeah, definitely not a negative. I mean, even myself, there's people. I made a tweet. I'm like, I appreciate that you all think I'm out here scamming you all, but if I spent 2 years to get 1,600 followers, make $5,000-$6,000 last year, like that's not a good scam. Like I don't know what you all are thinking. Like I'm just telling you some basic information about marketing to me. And there's some like, you don't know anything, Jeff. And he's like, block. The block list is very strong.
Lovely. That's needed. You can't keep sanity if there's so much of, and the mind works in this manner. They just focus on the negative. If there's one negative comment, it might even ruin your day. So it's better to block them straight away.
Yep. That's the easiest thing to do. Block them. Don't even. To be 10 people be like, oh, this is a great video. Someone says, your voice is ugly. Oh my gosh, you just want to like delete the video. 10 people said like, this was very helpful.
Focus on the positive.
Yep.
Yeah. So, for the past 2 years, you've been working with small creators. What are the common mistakes you see them making? Like, what is the before and after of you working with them?
Definitely more views, but even like most people don't have the
Mm,
direction. I mean, after we go to working with them, it's like they just don't have the direction. They didn't know what was right and wrong. They would just keep making videos, making this loop of getting 60 videos, 30 to 60 views forever. You know, it feels like forever. They just don't know. They change the title, the thumbnail. Is the niche wrong? Is it the is it like once they get into the video, they're worried about all this stuff. Usually, like the first thing is like, here's the niche. Here's a real problem someone has. Title, thumbnail.
mm,
That's usually how it goes. Here's the who are we talking to? Title and thumbnail, and worry about the rest later on. And I'm like, oh, they actually will get views. Like they'll actually get hundreds, thousands of views, and like that's what we should focus on. Then we should. It's just they just don't know because it's hard um,
it's not
to know
I,
what you should
from
do.
someone who's in their shoes right now. It's not just that they don't know; they just don't know how. Like, there's one thing that you know something. There's another thing that it's in your experience. Once you know how to
Yeah,
do it and you see that it works, that becomes a whole different thing than you just reading something online. Oh, I know this, I know that. It's like those I'm not calling fake, but somebody driving Lamborghini on Instagram and telling people, making people feel
yeah,
jealous of how rich they are and their fancy lifestyle. It's something of that sort. Reading doesn't give
yeah,
you, it doesn't fill, it's just seeing what works and it should come in your experience.
yeah. Like actually making whatever, But making that's why like when a video does bad, then you can learn from it. Then when a video does good, like actually I try to make a better title and thumbnail, spend more time on it, and it works. Okay, I know that this is what's gonna work. I think that's the part that's just people I work with. It's just hard to find the
Hmm.
direction. Like if you're gonna hire anybody, I don't care if you're gonna ever work with someone wants to work with me or work with anybody. Like the best thing someone's gonna give you is like a direction.
Direction, exactly.
Like direction, like actually show you how to make whatever money, a thumbnail, lead man. Like they're gonna it's direction, but it's like here's the way you should
Hmm.
go, and then here's how to actually do it. Like that's the part that most people I work with don't. Um, they just don't know that part. Like getting the attention and stuff. People think like a niche is like, oh, a niche. I don't need that. Then like, well, pick a niche and it'll work. We'll talk about the same sports, the Formula One sports, this racing stuff for 4 videos. Oh wow, we started to get views.
Hmm. Lovely. Thank you so much, Jeff, for joining me today on this channel and sharing me all your insights transparently for all the viewers who will hopefully benefit and focus on attention first and not the fancy stuff that uh, Jeff has asked us not to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, is there something you want to share before we close the call?
I mean, thanks for being on this, talking about all this stuff that you know that the people need. Like that's why it's fun to do this stuff because sometimes people don't know what attention. Maybe people's focusing on the wrong thing, and we can figure that out. As far as like if anybody wants to, contact me or work with me or anything, it's just on Twitter. There's a link in my profile, simple enough. You don't have to do anything fancy.
Connect with Jeff for all your 0 to 1 podcasting needs. He is super approachable and also super accommodating. He's a fun person to chat with. And if you actually scroll through his tweets, you'll understand he provides a lot of value. Also, you can join his newsletter. He has an amazing newsletter that goes out each week, and I've been subscribed to it for I think past 2 3 months, and it's huge value. So thank you, Jeff. Thank you, everyone who tuned in.